Hello, everybody. It's Saturday night. I wanted to say it so bad. Anyway, hi, everybody.
Like Saturday
it's
Night
Saturday. I know. Usually we're in the morning. We're ladies who lunch, but today we're ladies who cocktail, I guess. This is cocktail hour. But hi, everybody. It's Blades and Bodice Rupers Book Club time. Bam, 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 bam. Anyway, I think everyone who shows up here probably already knows all of us, but we could do a little round robin for anybody who's new to the group. Hey, Beth. Hey, Ursa. How are you? So, hi, I'm Amanda. You're here. You should know me. I'm the naughty librarian. I do things on the internet with books. And then I'll just go clockwise to Bethany.
Hi, I'm Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany. Also talk about books and things.
We can't all say we talk about books, okay?
We all talk about books. That's what we all do. I mean, I don't know.
That is our common
I read a lot of like fantasy, romance, horror, sci-fi.
It's gonna turn into like Alcoholics Anonymous. Like, hi, I'm Leanna, and I talk about books.
Hi, Leanna.
You're still brave.
I mean, on the internet, you truly are. I'm Mara. I talk about books and knitting sometimes, and drop out sometimes. Just trying to think of things that don't overlap with everyone else on this call.
I'm Leanna, and I talk about books.
All right. Well, hi, Cassie. How are you? All the way in Australia. So you're coming in from across the
Oh
globe.
my gosh, what time is it in Australia?
Tomorrow morning, I think.
Yeah,
But anyway, hi, everybody. This month, for my turn hosting Blades and Bodice Rippers, we read Red Rabbit by Alex Grecian. I very much enjoyed it. It was my pick, and it was an unusual pick, I think, because usually everyone expects me to pick the romance, but I picked a gory horror Western. And in the end, I think I gave it like 4.25 stars. I had a good time with it. I felt maybe it could have improved a little, but like overall, genuinely liked it. Anyone else like and or hate it?
I liked it. I thought it was a pleasant surprise. I think I gave it like a 4.5. Yeah, I thought it was really fun, and it did some things better than I was expecting.
I'm not going to spoil what I already saw Leanna rated on Goodreads, but I also liked it and gave it 4 stars because I thought I really like the writing in particular in this. Like, I would really like to read more from this author. I thought the plot kind of came and went for me, but I like the writing and the characters enough that was good enough for me. So 4 stars.
As much as we joke that I either love or hate things, I gave this 3 stars.
But for you, I feel like that's a success, honestly.
Okay. That's not a hate and that's not a love. It's just like, I don't have beef here.
Yeah, I just don't really like Westerns. So like for a Western, like it wasn't bad. I just don't like Westerns.
I like
also a horror story.
Yeah. I like Western. I don't like non-speculative Westerns.
Same.
But speculative Westerns.
Well, okay, yeah, if it was a non-speculative Western, I really wouldn't like it. Speculative is like better, but I would rather have a speculative book without the Western part. So the Western is bringing down the speculative.
I mean, honestly, if there were more Marriage of Conveniences on an alien planet, that would be my ideal Western.
I mean, this is like my problem with Red Country by Joe Abercrombie. I'm like, this is like the best Western I've ever read, but it's the worst first law book I've ever read. It's because I don't like Westerns.
You don't like Westerns.
That's my favorite, though. That's my favorite first law book is Red Country.
Yeah, which actually, if I liked Westerns, I would probably think it was amazing because I think like what he's doing with a Western, I'm like, well, if I liked Westerns, this would be fire, but I don't like Westerns. So.
See, I'm excited because I'm reading Red Country this month with Leanna, and so I feel like I have a double red Western theme happening here. Yeah, speculative Westerns.
Logan is my favorite character already, and then I really, really liked it because I like Westerns sometimes too. So, like for me, I really liked Red Country. I think I'm the only one that really liked it.
I was gonna say that was a massive spoiler.
No, it's not that. You catch on almost immediately.
Okay, that's fine. Well, also, I don't really care about spoilers, so that's fine. But I'm very excited now because Logan is also my favorite character.
It's almost immediate. You're like, is that? It is.
I am even more excited. So, Leanna, maybe I'm
Same.
starting reading this tomorrow.
I mean, the US, not to derail this entirely, the US.
I was going to say, now
version,
we're just talking about Red Country.
We're talking about Red Country now.
the US covers, you know, that
Red.
have the,
Red
they have
rabbit.
people on them, you know, of the US first law covers. The cover of Red Country, there's like a close-up of a hand holding a sword, and you can see that a finger is missing from that hand, like on the cover. So the cover kind of like gives it away.
Nudge, nudge.
Yeah, I feel like anything that happens in the first like 50 to 100 pages, like, is that really a spoiler? Like, it's kind of happening right off the bat.
Well,
it takes
although
a really long time.
Doesn't tell you, but like you might suspect in the first 50 to 100 pages.
The book actually never tells you.
No, it never
does tell you.
Well,
it does. Yeah,
it's
because
just like it's in every single way. No, it's in
king.
every single way indicated without telling you.
I remember a conversation where he's just like, he didn't say my name is Logan Ninefingers, but he's just like, yes, people used to call me king. Like, it feel like they were pretty clear who it was. And
Like
then
I
he
said,
was missing the finger, and then
they, in every possible way indicate it without actually saying it.
Well, I don't know. I feel like it's gone over indication and smacked you in the face at that point because it's so.
He's got his little nub and literally rubbing it in the face of the
exactly,
reader.
just like.
Oh, anyway, this book
is
is also
a different Red Rabbit, not Red Country.
Nobody. That's what I'm saying. I feel like this is a success because it feels like three of us really liked it, and Leanna doesn't like
hate
the genre and was neutral on it. So
honestly,
like that's a success.
That's a win.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take it to net positive. I like it.
Yeah. Leanna didn't hate it. Put that on the cover.
an official new designation that can be procured for the back of your book cover if the price is right.
So, did anyone have any favorite parts or characters? Like, personally, I did love Sadie quite a bit. I felt like she was very reasonable for a murderous witch. She's like, listen, you could leave. I feel like I'm being very generous considering you came here to kill me. And he's like,
no. Tell people what this book was about?
Okay, yeah, let's do that. So Red Rabbit is a gory horror Western, and it's about an unlikely group of strangers coming together on the road as they are on the trail of a witch that they are allegedly going to kill, although it kind of turns halfway through. We'll get to that later, and it doesn't really end up being a witch hunt, but a lot of
obstacles and like weird.
A lot of ghouls. Like there's way more cannibalism than you're expecting in this book.
Well, I was expecting none, so really any would be more than I expected.
Well, when we got the first one, I thought they were done, and they weren't. There was so many more cannibals. I was like, why is everybody eating each other?
Also, maybe I just because I read most of this a couple weeks ago and then I finished it today, and I think I forgot some things. Why did they end up coming together? Did we ever? Is it just sort of like, okay?
No, it's because of the. I mean, this is a spoiler, obviously, but it's because of Rabbit. She made them drawn to each other because she thought it would be useful.
Oh, that's
she was using her childlike witchy ways to like, you seem like you're harmless and you're gonna be good in a fight, and like I didn't know if I wanted you here, but like you're being like a good mom figure, so like you can stay. So it's her like hitting who she needs to get her where she needs to go.
Yeah,
she's assembling her Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a little magnet.
But you don't really get that. You don't really get much of anything about Sadie until like the very end of the book.
Sadie,
the very beginning and the very
I mean, not Sadie, Rabbit. Sorry, Rabbit till the end of the book.
Also Sadie.
Yeah. Sadie, I mean, we find out Sadie is her biological mother at the end of the book as well.
Yeah, which I don't know if that was surprising to you guys, but it surprised me because
I had completely forgotten about the pregnancy we were told about in the beginning of the book.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
like when that was said, I was like a sleeper cell for like pregnancy. Right?
I was like, oh, that's right. Yeah, okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah. That was kind of like Chekhov's pregnancy that never really.
I was like, I should have been looking out for the Shakespearean missing orphan child to return. Like I should have like
you were pregnant, mysterious magic child.
There are a lot of missing orphans in this book too,
but a lot of them they're not missing. We know what happened. They ate them. A lot of child murder dinners.
Yeah.
A
around.
lot of found
Must.
family, you know, picking up the orphan children.
Also found family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
really, it's like really rompy. You know, for as
It's
dark as it is, at times it's like, I don't know.
It's very side questy.
Yeah.
It is.
It's gory side questy.
Mhm.
It's
But
like
then my
every level
experience-
you go to a town and like there's some obstacle, whether it's cannibals multiple times or some other type of evilness or just
Toads.
regular
a
evil
little
dudes.
bit like kind of my problem with westerns in general is that they tend to always feel kind of meandering and just like beat
Yeah.
bopping along a bunch of deserted, desolate backwater places. And I'm just
Well,
like,
Lana, if you would like to have more settled ones, you know, there's a lot of sci-fi romance, marriage of conveniences, where they're settling an alien homestead and someone's trying to
already
steal their
read Ice
homestead.
Planet Barbarians. Okay,
That's not a western.
No,
That's
it's not.
okay.
that's a disaster novel.
There are sci-fi Western alien romances.
Which I adore. I recommend Honey Phillips.
They're pretty
They're
good.
they're
There's
very
something Leanna likes better than a western. It's an alien romance.
exactly. That's why I'm like, this is perfect for you. You said your
That's
problem
how
was
we'll
that they were
get her.
side questy, so I was presenting. I'm very solution.
Or is this one of those like two negatives cancel each other out and create a positive?
Yeah,
be.
exactly. Lena's out of nowhere is all of a sudden obsessed with Honey
Lena's like,
Phillips.
wait, this is what I've been looking for my entire life.
That
Like somehow it works.
Somehow this is amazing for me. There is, I guess, a romance in the sense of at the beginning of the book, Rose marries that dude, and then he immediately. Well, no, I guess they
No,
were married for a while.
They're married for a while. I love Joe.
Yeah,
Joe's the best.
I was really happy that Joe
I
got like a
He was
happy.
the only genuinely good character,
story.
and then he got a happy ending.
Yeah, I was not
Even though he's,
expecting
like,
that,
dead.
and I really appreciated it. I was like, Joe's like gathering up all these dead children and is gonna raise them with his new dead wife in
I
the
know.
afterlife.
He gets as many kids as he wants. He has a wife that loves him back. And I'm like,
Yeah.
good for Joe.
Yeah.
I love Joe. Joe saved them so many times and he
Well,
didn't
also,
fucking have to.
Joe killed himself because he mistook her,
Yeah.
birth control for her being suicidal, and I was like, Joe,
Although her birth control was accidentally suicidal.
Accidentally.
it's
Oh,
yeah.
Did that actually come out of like a little bit out of nowhere for everybody? Because just all of a sudden she was very sick and then like
No,
they
because
didn't have symptoms the whole
that she
time.
felt like something weird in her stomach.
Well,
like,
I mean, for me, I was like, as soon as they said she was taking arsenic, I was
yeah.
like,
yeah.
well, and then they said he died of a pain in his stomach, and I was
Yeah.
like, we know
And
she's
then
been
she
taking-
keeps talking about the pain in her stomach for like.
I
chapters
actually thought it
after.
was going to come to light that he died accidentally because, like, whatever she was keeping her
That's
arsenic
what I thought
in,
too.
that he
Oh,
accidentally.
I
had
thought
it.
he just had appendicitis.
I just thought he died of
Yeah.
old timey no medicine-ness.
Yeah, appendicitis is appendix burst and he just died, you know.
I mean, there are ways that I would be dead right now without modern medicine. I can't even tell you. So I just kind of assume in an old timey novel, anybody is one, you know, bad orange away from.
That's one of my favorite sketches
Right.
in Mitchell and Webb is like this avant-garde film director talking about his movies and how they're too realistic and that's what makes them boring and awful. And one of them is from a movie called like Sometimes a Cough is Just a Cough, and it shows this like old-timey man coming off of a train to meet his love, and he keeps like coughing into a handkerchief and he keeps coughing and they like keep meeting like this on the train, and he keeps coughing worse and worse each time, and then he gets off the train and he's like totally fine, and she was like, oh, I thought you were like dying. He was like, no, it was just a cough. And she's like, oh, I wouldn't have let you like fuck me if I had known that you weren't dying. And he was like, oh.
Well, that's a you problem. I
Just
didn't
because,
tell
like
you
in
I'm
every
dying.
movie, if someone is just like visibly coughing, you're like, oh no, they're dying.
This is true.
It's consumption immediately.
It's always
Yeah.
it's everything is tuberculosis. That's the name of a book now.
Yeah.
But you know, I loved Sadie. I really, really liked her a lot. I feel like she's like very fair to people. The guy came to kill her. She's like, you could just leave. I think I'm being very generous right now. And he's like, no. And he's like, all right, I guess we're doing this the hard way. I'm ripping you to pieces. So I really liked her. I felt like I knew exactly what I was getting with her.
Mhm.
She didn't like actively try to harm people. She was like, I gave you so many opportunities to not get harmed.
I feel like that's very relatable. I'm like the kind of person where like I'll put up with a lot, but then like once I'm done, I'm done.
Mhm.
So I was like, I feel you. Like I'll warn you not to get in the way of me and my witchiness, but if you do, you keep pushing it.
Did you not read the sign on my lawn? This house is guarded by witchcraft. Like,
Yeah.
It was great.
your
I thought
fault
she was
for-
so funny. Yeah.
Did
I
you
was glad
guys-
that Rose and her mom got.
They just none of them listened. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Did you guys know they just put out the sequel to this in March?
Oh, there's a sequel?
It's
Oh,
about
wow.
Sadie and them going east to Pennsylvania.
Oh, I don't feel like that's going to go well.
Oh, but it's like it's kind of a zombie one.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll read that. That sounds like fun.
I just bought it. I was like, oh shit! It's called The Rose of Jericho.
Oh, I was hoping it was going to be like White City. I was hoping there was going to be like a color theme, but
Oh,
okay.
it's The Rose of Jericho is the name of it. It just came out in March, and I was like, oh shit! Because I was like, I want to know what happens to Sadie and them next because they
I know.
get on a train and
I'm
go
worried.
east.
I'm worried. In my mind, I was just letting them have a happy ending. But now that I'm going to actually find out, I'm like, I don't think this is
You
going to
could
go
just
well.
pretend that they did have a happy ending.
Well, I mean, I liked it. I kind of want to read it more, but
Fair.
And considering he gave Joe such a happy ending, surely he won't. This
Well,
is
Joe's back on the homestead. Joe's not going to be in the new one, I'm assuming.
exactly. Well, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like if you're willing to give that level of a happy ending to a ghost, surely you'll just have the zombies eat people I don't care about and not Sadie and Rose.
From what the blurb said, it's just like the dead won't die.
Ooh, that's not
Like
good.
no one can die. Like, oh, this guy got hung. He's still kicking. Like people can't die.
Aye. I've been
So-
watching a lot of maritime disaster videos, and I can definitively say that
Why?
sounds.
Why?
I'm in my middle-aged dad era right now. I got onto a Titanic jag, and here I am with very strong opinions about the SS Pendleton, and
Okay.
all I didn't predict it for myself. But anyway, I'm imagining if those poor people couldn't die, and that sounds like a fate far worse than death, because I'm watching videos about people who drowned in poop. Like, ugh.
Well, again, why?
Yeah, your
watching
search
videos of
history is
people-
very different than mine.
To me, that's the worst case scenario of not being able to die.
I mean, yeah, if that's how you drown, it depends what you drown in, but like drowning in poop is probably pretty bad.
I feel like that's really bad.
Yeah, like ocean water is one thing. Poop is you have to go some.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in a lot of people who died in river accidents in the Victorian era also basically drowned in poop because the rivers were so nasty.
Mhm.
Lovely.
The Red Rabbit.
Anyway,
In fairness, in a lot of those eras, they were also living in poop. So they lived in the poop and they died in the poop.
There's surprisingly very little poop in this, though. I will say. So there is that.
maybe that'll be explored in the next.
Maybe that they're waiting.
There is lots of cannibalism and demon toads.
But
Demon
I don't know
Toads
if
was
it's because-
gnarly.
I don't know if it's because I was expecting, I don't know, too much. But like, I'm gonna if someone was asking me if they should read this and they were like super worried about it, I'd be like, yeah, I guess it's pretty gory. Yeah, there's like some dark stuff in it, but like it didn't seem like, I guess like technically I wouldn't like disagree. Like I wouldn't say, oh, this should not be shelved in horror. But I don't know, it just like wasn't that
I don't think it was very scary, or it was like it was
Or even that
gross,
gross
but it
and horrific.
wasn't. It was like gory, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like terrifying.
It was
No.
like grimdark fantasy
That's why I
level,
say,
not like
like rompy. Like to me, it was like kind of fun,
Shoot. What's
and
the old guy's name?
gory, and dark.
I think I've read grimdark fantasy that I think is more horrific.
Yeah, I
than-
think that's true. Because the book this reminded me the most of was Lone Women by Victor Laval.
I haven't read
Um,
the Western.
Yeah,
which is also a horror
Also
fantasy
horror
western.
Yeah, fantasy western.
But I would say that one was more creepy to me than
darker.
this, even though it wasn't as gory as this.
I think because it was more serious too. This doesn't
Yeah.
take itself very seriously.
Yeah, I
think
would
it's part
agree.
of it. It's more like,
What was
which is kind of how slashers are, right? Like they're horror, but they're not taking themselves that seriously usually.
Mhm.
And this feels similar, but not a slasher.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was the old guy's name? Was it Tom? Like
Tom.
the old guy that with him?
Old Tom.
Old Tom. I just like when he was like right about the demons and he knew how to kill the toads and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, you actually know stuff about stuff? I thought you were an idiot
I mean,
this whole time.
I also kind of thought he was an idiot. So,
And they're like, oh no, you can stay. Like you know things.
Hang on. Two things can be true at the same time.
That
You know things and also be an idiot.
he can also be an idiot, but he's like, oh wait, no, you actually know some shit about shit.
yeah. Yeah.
But and even in death, he's looking for those demon toads to protect people.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
He's
nice.
not the worst. He's just kind of an asshole, but he's not the worst, dude. Like, he didn't diddle Rabbit, you know?
Like, that's the bar, then yeah, he's a great guy.
Well, he actually was misgendering Rabbit, so.
Well, I think Rabbit also said in the book that she presented herself as a male to him.
Oh, so maybe she was trying to protect herself that way.
Yeah, but he's also just like not a creep. So I'm like, okay, you're annoying, but you're not the worst.
Yeah, he wasn't like super creepy with Rose either.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, you can hang. Yeah, you're harmless.
Have you guys read Vicious
by V.E. Schwab?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because like the parts where Joe was like interacting or interceding kind of reminded me of that one power in Vicious and how like they used it in, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't read Vicious, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's been years since I read Vicious, so no.
Okay, well, it reminded me of
believe you. V. Schwab, man, I kind of almost forgot about Vicious. She's had so many books since then.
Oh, yeah, she writes a lot.
Vicious is the only one that I really like. So.
I brought up the sequel a little earlier. Does anyone think they're going to read the sequel?
I think I might. I probably put it in my library book list.
Yeah. I think I'm going to read it. I bought the book, so at least I've committed to buying it.
Yeah.
Speculative mid-Atlantic.
That's like urban fantasy, I think. Or like steampunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is fun.
Oh, I agreed with Fabled Reader. I think that this would make a really good movie or TV or something. It felt it felt very cinematic.
Yeah, I think it would be fun for that.
Yeah.
I agree.
I would definitely say more TV than film because it's so like episodic and scattered.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it could work either way, but yeah.
It
would be fun for that.
I feel like by the end, just with like how everybody ends up, I liked that it was kind of the ladies making it out.
It's a weird book where most of the main characters are dead by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing about it too that I liked is I don't know, it to me reads like an example of where you can show things like misogyny and racism on the page without advocating for it. Because, that can be tricky, but I feel like this does a reasonably good job of navigating that.
Yeah, like all of our main characters at least aren't we're not rooting for someone we find morally despicable. We see morally despicable behavior and someone calls it out for being morally despicable.
Yeah.
Well, and like a lot of it is directed at the witch, who is not a villain at all, right? Like we're rooting for her. So
she's very fair. I'm like, if you're just nice to her, she's nice to you. Simple.
To beat Leanna to the Abercrombie punch.
I think we already covered everything actually.
Well, but I think to me, he's another example. But in this case, to me, he's another example of like, there's a lot of awful shit that happens in those books, but you never get the vibe that that's something that he's co-signing. And I felt the same in this of like, even if something bad was happening, it didn't feel like the authorial attitude was like, this is fine, or I'm not aware that this is bad.
Is the author of this book a man or a woman? I don't know anything about them. Alex could be either.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
I don't read a lot. Yeah, this is the author.
Yeah, it's a guy.
I don't read a ton of books by men now that I think about it.
Well,
so
I mean,
I do.
This overall point about the representation of like, misogyny, etc. When I was reading it, at no point was I like, well, I've decided Alex must be a man because I'm reading this and this was written by a man. I was like, no, I have no idea.
So kudos, Alex.
Yeah, seriously, I think he did a good job.
Well, and I guess his next book, based on who survived, is going to be mostly women, probably. So
Yeah.
Who knows who they meet along the way?
that's true.
Bunch of undead men.
Maybe Sadie will have another magic baby.
Sure. Yeah.
I think the other thing too is that like for a lot of the stuff that happens, it seems like it's having fun with the goriness of things, but it's not like, you know, some books have almost like a torture porn vibe to them. You know what I mean? Like where
yeah.
it feels like it's like, oh, we're gonna have fun at like people getting hurt.
It's
sort of
not
thing. And
gratuitous.
it's not like that. I mean, I don't know.
It's not like Tarantino.
Right.
But even then, Tarantino is very cartoonish. Like
Yeah.
there's violent movies that are like very more, you know, realistic in like the blood and the gore, and they really linger on it, and you're like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. I think this one kind of, it didn't, like, we know atrocities happened, but we don't get into the gory details of them. Like, we just get the bare bones, like, oh, they opened the bar and it is full of men who have been twisted into unnatural shapes. But we didn't get into all of that happening and the goriness and the visceralness of it. We just kind of heard that it happened. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the vibe of that is, but it was kind of.
I agree.
I think it
does
would've been
get more
gratuitous
visceral about like
with it.
like the toads or like I don't know. Like there are things that are gory about it, but it's not.
There's
like,
plenty of gore. It's just not gratuitously gory.
It's not. Yeah.
I also feel like if I was talking to somebody who was trying to figure out if they want to read it, if I know that, or if they're telling me that they're like quite squeamish, I'd be like, yeah, probably don't read it. But if they're just like,
probably not.
you know, if they read, you know, grimdark fantasy and all that kind of stuff, that I'd be like, oh, you're fine, you're good.
Yeah.
I agree.
This isn't like jump scares or like
No.
there's not like a lot of psychological dread or anything in this. So I think if you're
And even the
scaredy
gore,
cat-
yeah, it's not like
Mhm.
lingering on pages and pages of like descriptions of horrific detail of like
Mhm.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
But I did appreciate the horror of it all. Like, I do love a good horror book, and I don't read enough of them. So I had a fun time. I thought it was decently scary. Like, it has like ghouls and cannibals and witches and
yeah.
demon toads. Like, I felt like it brought the horror elements to it, and it did it well, just not gratuitously. And it also had a little bit of time for character development. I think it could have gone maybe a little bit further. There were so many characters.
There was just so many characters. I think there was
Not all of them got the development treatment to them, which is why I didn't give it 5 stars. But
It's like a road.
I think it's a good horror story.
I most enjoyed this when we were with like Rose and the crew, and then we just kept jumping to like 50,000 other like threads and perspectives, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I think probably I probably agree with that. I think I would have liked it better if it had been more focused on just the crew, because I liked all of them and I liked their dynamic. And
I did like Sadie too, though. I think she was like.
Every time we
Yeah,
jumped to some other group, I was like, which group of awful men is this? I
mean, honestly,
remember.
but I do like that Moses kills what's his face at the end, and everyone's like, everyone kind of hates him anyway. Just get out of here. And I was like, yeah, that's relatable.
I did like them as best friends. It might sound weird, but like I forget the other guy's name, Moses and his best friend guy. Ned, yes. I kept calling him Cowboy with Light Hat in my brain because I can't remember names for shit. But I like that they're just have this buddy comedy going on. It felt like Han and Chewie from Star Wars. I don't know if it felt like that to anyone else. But
Which one's Chewie?
Oh, I mean, Ned is so much flashier than Moses. I think he'd be the Han Solo of that situation.
And Moses just walks around going, "Brrr."
Well, Moses walks around going like,
Oh,
go
a perfect
flirt with
time
her.
to freeze.
They work well together. I like that Moses was going to bring Ned back to, was it Volition? I forget this town, but that was a real place back in the day. That was a real town. It was mainly inhabited by, newly freed enslaved people. And we brought Ned back there. So I'm like, oh.
Way to go, Moses.
It's like he brought him to the cookout. like in this afterlife. And I was like, oh, I love them together. I like their friendship, even though, you know, it does end poorly, but I feel like Ned will still be around a little bit because they do have like ghosts. Ghosts exist in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people died.
True, yeah.
Yeah, I like them
Honestly,
as
the ghosts hanging out. Have you guys seen the movie of Stardust?
Back in the
Yes.
day.
Yeah,
It's
when it
like
first came
all
out.
the dead prince ghosts that just keep like following the adventure and just hanging out as ghosts and like watching everything and commenting on everything that's happening. Like if you did a movie of this, like I feel like that's kind of the vibe that it would have, is like all these ghosts that are just like hanging out like on the sidelines being like, these idiots.
Yeah.
Oh, that little boyfriend, like not boyfriend, the little boy who was friends with Sadie. I forget his name right now too, but like, and he was the one who caught a grasshopper and let it go.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she's like, "You're a very sweet little boy," and he goes home and he gets his puppy, and I was like, and then like you did him dirty in the end.
Well, Rabbit has a puppy now.
Rabbit has a puppy now, and then Joe adopted him. So it turned out the best it
It's
could
okay.
in the circumstances, but like he named his puppy Sadie. You took like the precious character and mangled them.
I mean, yeah, shit was getting real at the end there.
Yeah.
Fucking demon toads.
Watch out for the demon toads.
And the werewolf guy just kind of comes in randomly. They don't really explain him.
The huntsman?
Yeah, the huntsman. He was like, I'm assuming he's, I don't know what he is. I just called him a werewolf in my brain because he turns into a wolf sometimes. But he could be in the next book. He's still kicking.
Yeah, they make a point of saying that his body is not there. So they're like, maybe he ran away. I don't know. If it was a normal guy, I'd say he was dead. But
he's also very, I don't know. He's also a magical entity. So like, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be, instead of werewolf in London, it'll be werewolf in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, because the Rose of Jericho, I just looked it up. It says something wicked is going on in the village of Ascension. A mother wasting away from cancer is suddenly up and about. A boy trampled by a milk cart walks away from the accident. And a hanged man can still speak, broken neck and all. The dead are not dying. Ooh. That's the premise. And then it goes on for Sadie and Rabbit and Rose showing up.
Isn't there a movie called Death Takes a Holiday?
I know I've seen the premise of this before, but I don't know the names of the other things I've seen.
Is there
We've established
a book like that?
Well, in Hogfather, Santa's not there, so there's extra magic around.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of his death series. I wonder if maybe something like that happens at some point.
Probably.
I'll find out eventually.
Death decides, yeah. I mean, the way Death's written in Discworld, I would certainly see a plot line where he was like day off.
I was gonna say he seems like somebody who would take a holiday. So
yeah.
What was the name of the kid? The Mexican kid who joins up with them.
Oh, Benito.
Benito. I forget everybody's name.
They're like, oh, that's just Ben. That's a white guy. Don't worry about it.
Ben, he's white.
And then he opens his mouth and they're like, damn it. Everyone knows you're Mexican now.
It's like you have well, at least in the audiobook, like he has a very thick, like Mexican accent. But no, he's just like a throw-in character who just kind of showed up for comic relief. There's too many characters.
There's just a lot of characters. Which I guess in the real world there are also, a lot of characters.
Too many people in the world? Agree. Yes. Too many characters in the world.
That's just my only criticism, is that I think if they pared it down a little bit, like they could have developed a smaller group of characters better than having so many dispersed characters and then not developing them enough.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think the thing with Ben was funny though, with the whole, because it was connected to what's his name, the guy, because he had an affair with the guy's wife.
Yeah. And that guy ended up being a toad demon.
The husband killed her, and now he feels like he has to go after Benito.
Yeah, because his brother's like, you're a fucking wuss. Go. Why are you not hunting your wife's killer? What the fuck? So he's like, oh, fine. I guess I gotta go, even though I'm the one who killed her. La la la.
Hmm.
And then he turns into a frog demon man.
Well, don't murder your wife.
I mean, honestly,
I mean, no one's mad. No one's upset that he's frog demon man. No one liked him.
no.
Yeah, there's a lot of deeply unpleasant people in this book, but I feel like,
That's true.
That's par for the course for a Western.
exactly.
That is true. But then you're not too upset when they get killed.
Yeah, frankly, I prefer them to be deeply unpleasant so that I'm not as upset when they die.
That's fair.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, you do need to introduce enough characters that there's a fair amount of like gore and casualties. But
True.
Much
to
like
develop them as main characters, you need fewer.
yeah.
Because if you're just like killing NPCs the whole time, then you don't have like an emotional connection. You have to at least get to know a few of them. So you're like,
And
oh,
kill
no,
a few of the mains.
yeah, you have to feel it, you know. So I get why they invented or introduced so many new characters, but yeah, I just wanted more. And I guess, you know, in the end, Ben finally got his hat because Moses gave him Ned's hat, even though Ben is also dead, but he got his hat in the end.
Well, yeah, people keep living in the afterlife in this world, so
Yeah,
it's still
this is,
good.
this is the hat. It was like the light colored hat.
Yeah.
And they go to the shop and they only have children's clothes. And it was like, this is weird, right? And one's like, yeah, because they gobbled up those children.
I do think the way they handle the ghosts and stuff makes it feel less horrific. Like, it's still horrific, but I think it does like
Soften.
it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, they're all right. They're kicking.
Yeah.
And like Joe got his happy ending. And like Joe was such a good character. He was genuinely nice. He could have done horrible things to Rose.
Yeah,
And
for
the
a
fact
guy
that-
that like got a mail order bride, he's as good as they come.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. He was just like, listen, I know you're new here and you're like, don't know anything. I'll sleep on the floor. Like, already I was like, Joe, you're a good one, Joe. I mean, the bar is very low at this point, but like Joe has proved further since that Joe's a good one.
Like, I really wanted
He-
kids, but
He advertised for a baby maker. So
But he didn't force her to make babies either. He was like,
Well, and then he literally kills himself when he thinks that she doesn't want to be with him. Like,
I know. He deserved better. That wasn't a love match, but it was at least a like match.
yeah, they were. Yeah, I felt, a really bad miscommunication trope there.
Yeah,
before you kill
also,
yourself,
like,
maybe have a
Maybe have a conversation.
maybe have
No,
a
but
quick
it
chat before you do.
it has the vibe that everyone's better off that he died because like she was not like gonna have his kids and she wasn't really like happy there. So now she gets to go live with her mom and Sadie and he gets to like have the kids on the land that he always dreamed of in the afterlife. Whereas if he had stayed alive, they would have kind of been miserable.
Yeah. I was also like, why would you take arsenic?
Because you're trying not to have babies.
You're trying to.
Yeah,
I mean,
but like arsenic.
They didn't really have a lot of options, you know?
Well,
or a
no,
lot of
really,
knowledge.
That's true, I guess.
Especially
most
in the
substances-
frontier.
Yeah, most substances at high doses are poison. So why
Yeah.
not take? By that logic, why not take a little poison and risk it?
I guess.
I mean, it certainly succeeded in keeping the babies from coming. So it mission accomplished. It just had some side effects.
I guess it was effective. You're right.
Mhm.
She didn't get pregnant.
Yeah.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Don't do it at home.
We have far better.
Well,
Oh, sure.
yeah. Speak for yourself. I'm in Tennessee.
Fair. We're all over here in blue states, like, oh, look at us with our birth control.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Do what you need.
I'd have to take birth control for non-birth control reasons, and the last
As
time I went
many
to
people do.
and when I last went to get it renewed, I got grilled about it, and I was like, "This feels really ominous."
That's weird.
Yeah,
Jeez.
in a like, it feels like they've had a talk with people about talking to people.
Are we great
By the
again
way-
yet?
Can you get it by mail?
Yeah, I could. I mean, I'm also like, I have an autoimmune disease. Like, it was pretty easy to be like, hey, I'm taking this for that. / I don't want kids because I have an
That's
autoimmune
what a
disease.
whore would say.
Well,
Would you want your horse to have lots of kids? Like, come on. This is helping
well,
society.
they need workers. They're going to give us $5,000 per kid. So
It's the modern Confederacy. They're just trying to
like $5,000 per kid will not even pay for like having the child.
I was gonna say that's not even gonna cover your hospital bill, but so anyway, kids in Tennessee, there are options. Get your private browser and your VPN going and explore your options.
Indeed.
Come here to the Wild West.
I mean, Illinois is not that far away. I'm just saying.
Illinois got Chicago. Big cities.
Well, I mean, but even just
that's the border.
I'm sad to say that I'm now very aware of like where the closest of certain things are to.
I know I'm spoiled out here in
major
California.
cities in Tennessee. Yeah, America makes me a little sad. Cassie, you just said a word.
I mean,
that's an understatement.
We're all kind of sad about it.
Yeah, none of us did this.
Yeah. But anyway, all that to say, arsenic turns out not a good solution.
Not a good solution long term.
First time I read it, I was like, "Wait, you did what?"
I know. The first time I read it, I was like, "Okay, maybe
twice."
I don't know. She was surprisingly okay with taking on like a motherly role to Rabbit.
I
She
think
did talk a lot about how like childbirth itself was what terrified her.
That was what it sounded like, was she didn't want to be pregnant. But then when they went to the adoption thing,
she was also relieved.
That's right. And all the kids were gone by the time. Yeah, that's right.
Because they got 8. They got 8 in another town.
Yeah. Yeah, I think adoption was a good route for her.
Yeah, but she was also secretly relieved. I think she just didn't want to have babies with Joe because she didn't really. She liked him. She didn't love him though.
Well,
the
whole way
she didn't want to be pregnant. Yeah.
And the whole thing is that she had to leave the life that she actually really liked.
Yeah.
So
now she gets to go back to it.
Yeah.
It's all a circle.
With her mom who kicked her out.
Litter box? I don't understand.
See, that was like a hoax on right-wing media where they said like kids who identify as cats have a litter box, which is nonsense.
Yeah, it's like the same way that they thought the pizza place had you know what ring in it, and
well, it's the whole like
they no, we have pizza.
No, this is more. It's like when they were like, if we let gay people get married, what's next? You can marry your dog, and they're like, if we let people who like use whatever bathroom they identify as, well, then if a kid identifies as a cat, are they going to need a litter box? And so that's what this is.
And now
no one identifies as a cat.
I mean, I identify as a cat mother.
There are people who do, but it's like very
they're not.
But that's like a kink thing, right? It's not like
that's a kink thing.
That's not people identifying like as a. Like,
it's not the same thing to identify as a cat as to like identify as a gender you were not assigned.
No, it is not at all the same thing.
But that's why that's happening.
That's dumb.
I mean, I hope if the schools have litter boxes that they're the robot litter boxes, because I can't imagine that anybody's cleaning them with any frequency.
Yeah. I mean, like, you have to have a cat. I mean, for a cat? Was it a litter box for a cat? I'm assuming the children weren't using the litter box.
I'm sure.
There's no, I don't, or maybe here's the way to reframe it. Most things you can find an example of somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's a systemic
you don't usually pass
issue.
laws about something that you found an example of one time.
Yeah.
Yes, they are, because they're crazy.
Well, now they are. But I mean, like, even just like the whole like panic over trans athletes, it's like, okay, how many trans people are competing at a professional level in sports?
I just love all the comedians that are like they're
about trans women.
But like, for the very first time, conservatives care about women's sports.
I'm like, since when have you
been like, women can't play sports? Women's sports suck, but now they care a lot.
I also want to be clear, like, trans women should be able to play professional sports 100%. If that's what they want to do. Like,
yeah, but
honestly, literally, I don't understand why anybody cares about this. But like, just the principle, like how, like you're this upset about something that maybe is like a few dozen people in the world. Like, I don't think there's that many there's not that many professional athletes. So I'm guessing there's not that many professional trans athletes.
Because they've been told to be upset about it by
No,
the people that want to make this a thing.
But like, it is a one-sided thing, and misogyny is so much of it because people are all up in arms about trans women. Nobody talks about trans men, and I'm like, there's other kinds of trans people.
Well, this is the like benevolent misogyny of turfdom, because they all think of trans men as their lost lesbian sisters.
Right.
And it's like, no, like,
That is
no.
that is.
They neither want nor need your protection. Thank you so much.
I think that's the best way I've ever heard it described. The benevolent misogyny here.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, I'm trying to protect you from the misogyny
Why
that's
would they
making
go
you
through
hate
the
your
process?
own.
Like, that's such a hassle to get fully dressed up as a woman to try to assault a woman. Because, like, guys have been doing that dressed up like men since for always.
Yeah. I'm waiting for DNA locks on the bathrooms to keep me safe, because that's the thing that would do that.
I mean, that's the
I
thing
just
too,
want
is
to
I'm
yell
like,
at
I'm
them.
like, in what world is that giving you more access to assaulting women? Like, yeah, exactly. Like
There's no force field around a door.
When I'm in,
put them at more risk of being assaulted themselves.
It's
Like,
a lot about keeping also the prisons, keeping trans
Yes.
women out of women's prisons.
which is so scary. Like, oh my God.
it's scary the way that they're like transferring trans prisoners, though.
That's what I mean. Like, a trans woman transferred to a male prison, like, you're basically asking for them to be
Murder.
yeah.
I'll leave out all of the horrible things before that.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the goal.
Well,
So
that was
Red
depressing.
Rabbit?
Yeah, we all read Red Rabbit to read about a lighter, happier world.
I know, exactly.
Murdered by demon toads.
I mean, the
Get to be happy,
simplicity
happy
of
ghost
like, these are
after.
bad guys and good guys.
Oh, well, Cassie, I'm glad that we can be an object lesson for you guys. I think we were for Canada too.
I think we were for Canada too. Yeah.
I was like, oh, don't be like them. Oh.
Yeah. But it's a global trend, rightwards. So we all, wherever we are,
There's a
we
lot
have
of
to be
countries that voted the same as we
vigilant.
did. Like Italy, they're having their neo-fascism period.
Yeah.
Oh, Italy. No one ever stays mad at Italy because they have pizza and pasta.
Also,
I mean, they were on the Axis side in World War II already. Like, they were already on the bad guy side.
Again, but
like,
people don't remember that because of the pizza and
Pizza.
pasta. Like, it's just the Germans.
It is like the wine. It's like people. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. It's a beautiful country, but
But yikes.
A mixed political history, shall we say?
Yeah, I mean, they overwhelmingly
as are we. Beautiful country with a very mixed political.
And we lost our woke pope.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Pope was kind to people. What a hardship. I hate it.
Well,
the world's awful.
I don't know how woke he really was. A woke pope is a very low bar to clear in the history of.
I mean, yeah, he basically
pope.
like actually believed in like being kind to people the way Jesus said, and everyone's like woke.
He will say the favorite thing I've learned about him is that he would talk to the only Catholic parish priest in Palestine every night.
Not Jerusalem.
Before he went to bed, and I was like, that does make me like you a lot better. But would love for one of them to address any of the scandals and systemic issues that allow children to be hurt in that institution. You know what? That is an extremely good point. It's hard to be that scared of somebody who is reminding you of Mario. Yeah.
But
while
versus
serving
like
pizza and pasta.
But I mean, I think a lot of that is in media, right? Because we've had a lot of like Russian and German villains in media.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I don't know.
But
maybe someone will start having more. I mean, we have had like mafia, like Italian mafia.
It's true, but it feels like
different.
I don't know.
There's certain languages that just sound more like caustic and they have a harsher sound. And the Romance languages are not them.
Here's the thing. Even if their language sounds more aggressive, Have you like Googled anything Canada did during World War II? Because,
Oh.
dear Lord, they had to make new laws in the Geneva Convention because of shit Canada did.
Well, look at the
And
resume.
they're like the nicest, and we're like, oh my god, like they did some shit, dude.
I mean, we all probably have.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I know, but it's just like, don't pick on Canada. They did some shit, dude.
Yeah.
I'm mad that we're picking on them in America because, like,
yeah.
anyway.
I mean, I lived there for 3 years. I do love Canada.
Oh, Canada.
The true north, strong and free.
The 51st state. How to piss off 2 entire nations in one sentence.
Well, listen, if somehow we do end up buying Greenland,
did you see the video of them of the parliament in reacting to Trump saying he was going to buy them? I mean, like their parliament. They just all laughed. Like,
yeah.
Well,
they offered to buy us, and I would love for the Danes.
Yes.
Would love for them to make an offer.
As a representative of California, I'm like, who's asking? Like, if we left, okay, the state of California is the world's 4th largest economy. We just overtook Japan. Just the state of California alone.
All the red states that are like, yeah, we should secede, and I'm like,
if California seceded, you'd all be poor. You would be living in dirt huts. Okay,
like,
we
do
pay
you not
all your
understand
bills.
how we entirely fund you?
I would ask for California to stop sending us their terrible people, because I can tell you that there's so many Californians in Nashville right now.
All the bad ones left. I know.
None of them are ones I want.
I know. I'm sorry. All the bad ones left. I know.
You know, we have no state. We have no.
It's good for us, but bad for everyone else.
So,
yeah,
people just can't resist. I get
Texas and Florida too, and Nevada, because there's like no state tax, and I think Oregon too, but that's like a blue state.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
I just thought
it's nice until you look at the roads.
A Floridian saying how like, oof, that like 13%, like income tax or whatever, like for Californians, you must like how like upsetting that must be for you, whatever. And the Californian being like, oh, we gladly pay the convenience fee of not living in Florida.
Yeah. No. I can't. We have Vermont, which is okay maple syrup.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to try that maple syrup candy in Canada where they like pour it on snow and it becomes like a taffy.
Oh, yeah. I've had that. It's pretty good.
I want it so badly.
I don't love maple syrup flavor, so
I don't either. But like
nice.
The fact that it was made with snow makes me so fascinated because I'm from Los Angeles.
Yeah,
and like snow is exotic to me.
Snow is the sparkly plastic that they put on rooftops at Christmas. That's
made from like sky ice. What? I will eat your like futuristic dessert. Thank you very much.
I do. I love sky ice. I wish we had more of it. We get a good smattering of it. I'd say 3 times a year, but I would enjoy more. Bethany, I'm assuming all your sky ice melts immediately.
Mostly. We had a little bit. This year we got more than usual. We had some that stayed for a couple days, but yeah, we don't get as much. I think global warming is part of it.
That's true. That's true.
Oh my God, I have to drive by Silver Lake pretty often, and there is no water in Silver Lake.
Just all the reservoirs are like just concrete.
And there's still the same people every day. They're walking around it to do their like daily exercise. And I'm like, how are you not having an anxiety attack right now? Like, when I drive by, I like don't look at it because I'm like, I don't want to think about that right now because I'm just gonna go get my groceries and then pretend that I didn't see that.
Yeah, I'm looking for my like where I'm gonna move because I'm not gonna be 70 bathtub hiding from a tornado. Like we get too many of them here. So I am examining somewhere around the Great Lakes because we're going to have water shortage issues in about 15 years, probably across the globe. So I mean, right next to a gigantic inland sea of fresh water sounds.
Yeah. Michigan goes blue quite often. So
it's on my list. I'm looking
Detroit is up and coming. It's still cheap.
Ann Arbor right now apparently is quite nice.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my research as they always tell you to do online. But I'll report back on my findings when I
Okay.
decide on my climate change resistant.
When Mara lights the
Location.
beacons, we all move.
I mean, so far, also, like, New York hasn't been terrible. I mean, I'm sure eventually we'll have some stuff, but, like, it's...
I think anywhere on the coast I wouldn't choose to move to right now.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're there, like, you know, it's a big pain in the ass to move.
Me
so it's a
here in
bigger
downtown
question.
LA, I'm gonna have beachfront property.
Yeah. I mean, FEMA has said, like, the Pacific Northwest from, like, Vancouver to Portland-ish is about 75 years overdue for the big one. And FEMA has already said that anything west of I-5, they're not even making a plan for help there because it will just be gone. So
Well, that's me and Leanna, I think.
no, you guys are further south, but
but still, like what you said, like west of I-5, because 5 goes the whole length.
oh, sorry, just in the Pacific, like stopping at Portland.
West of I-5. Oh
no. I mean,
that checks out.
Well, they're not allowed to build like hospitals or schools anymore west of I-5 from Portland up. Because
they say that all the time. I mean, even in California, they say we're overdue, but it's like you can't predict them. It's just whenever it's going to happen.
That's the thing.
Well, and there's
could be
also
another
whole,
100
like,
years.
If you have like a lot of little ones, then you'll.
I'd rather have so many little ones. Like blow up the
one.
steam like now. Don't let it build up.
Yeah.
Speaking of
like
the
life
reservoir,
and the tectonic plates.
did you know we didn't know about tectonic plates until like the 60s? That blew my mind.
Yeah, we didn't know about
if you go
dinosaurs
on the right
until,
corners of TikTok, we still don't
1800.
know about them. It's all a big lie.
This is a very good point. But
Like when you
speaking
think
of
about it, George Washington never knew dinosaurs existed.
that's really
There's
sad.
a lot of the amount of things George Washington did not know.
But still, like he didn't know dinosaurs were real. Like those are relatively a newfangled like knowledge.
Again, if you go to the right corners of TikTok, we still don't know dinosaurs
They
were real.
still, yeah.
The earth is flat on TikTok, apparently.
Have you, so being all of you from California, did you guys know about the St. Francis Dam disaster? Is that something they teach you in schools?
I don't think so. At least I didn't.
When they were building all the reservoirs for LA, they made a whoopsie on one.
That checked
and it
out.
was so bad. Anyway, it was interesting.
I would assume they'd make a whoopsie.
It was created by Mulholland of Mulholland Drive. He was the water czar of
Thank
Los
you for
Angeles.
saying it right.
How else do people say it?
They say Mulholland, which is weird because it's Mulholland. I don't know. It's like a lost SoCal, Southern California thing. We say it different apparently because I don't.
I always know when someone is like not from the area if they say Van Nuys. Like
yeah, or Sepulveda.
Yeah,
Sepulveda is another one. Sepulveda.
You guys have lots of really fun place names. I will say, I enjoy.
Every time I drive on La Cienega Boulevard, I think of the Proud Family on like Disney like channel, that old like cartoon when we were kids.
Yeah,
because one of the characters was named La Cienega Boulevardes.
I did not plot that, but that's very funny.
Yeah, I think place names are sometimes an interesting way to like clock who's. So there's like a street near me that like when we first moved here, I was like, I was at Houston, but no, it is Houston.
Or like here we have San Rafael, which is spelled San Rafael, but we do not say it like that.
Oh, I didn't know.
Or like Los Feliz.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say Los Feliz.
Like we do say La Cañada correctly, but Google doesn't. They say La Canada.
Yeah.
There's a tilde on the end. It makes a Y sound.
We have a street in Nashville called De Montbriand, and if you put it into Google, it says Demon Bruin, which I find to be very enjoyable.
Wonderful.
There's a street in New Orleans called Chapatulas, and there's a T in it in the beginning. It's like TCH is the beginning of the word Chapatulas.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember I got in an Uber in New Orleans. I was like, listen, I know this is the most touristy thing ever, but like, how does this word make sense? Like, I just asked the Uber driver and they told me it was Chapatulas.
Chapatulas.
because I was like, I keep saying it and I don't know where I am. Like, what is this called?
New Orleans has a lot of fun place names too because of all of the like
French.
fusion. Yeah, the French, the
Well,
Creole.
also in
like, all of it
in
together.
Washington State, I love all of the names that are like Native American,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
which we have a little bit down here, but not much.
Yeah.
We mostly have Spanish in Southern California.
For some reason, the name La Cañada Flint Ridge is one of the funniest things I've ever heard, and I don't know why. I think it's because it's
I
something
feel like
so
the Flint-
Spanish with something so English. It just
Yeah,
makes me
exactly.
laugh.
The Flint
Like,
Ridge is like the white people way.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say like it's like the word equivalent of gentrification.
Yeah. Oh,
That's like a fancy part of town.
oh.
It surely is.
I don't know. I will say from watching Dropout, I am learning a lot more names and neighborhoods around LA because they will just casually mention them, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a funny word. I like that.
Those are rich folks. Those houses are expensive up there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is
That's true.
is it near Hollywood?
No, it's near where I grew up, but so like my parents live like in Pasadena, but just at the border of Pasadena and La Cañada, so they do all their grocery shopping in La Cañada.
Yada. Okay.
But I
Well,
couldn't
this-
go to La Cañada schools because our zone was Pasadena, so I went to the terrible, terrible, terrible Pasadena schools.
Is Pasadena not? I thought Pasadena was like a nice.
Oh, people who are like rich and
Yeah.
stuff in Pasadena go to private school. The
Yeah.
public schools in Pasadena are shit.
Public schools in
But the
Pasadena.
public school in La Cañada
Yeah.
is really good.
It depends where you are in Pasadena. Like South Pass is kind of like I
But
think
South Pass
that's,
is a different city.
Yeah.
that's their hood. Like the hood. in
Pasadena has a
is
hood?
South Pass. Yeah, the South Pasadena is like the
Oh,
hood of
it's its own
Pasadena.
city. It's technically a
Well,
different city.
I mean,
South-
South Pass
Is that
has very
Altadena?
bougie parts. Altadena.
no,
more
Altadena
of
is
the-
further north.
and
Okay.
Altadena is also like kind of more of like the ghetto of Pasadena.
Yeah. Well, I'll say it was affordable and a blending or melting pot community because it was one of the first neighborhoods that would like
we
sell
used
houses
to
to people
live
of color.
in Pasadena, close to Altadena, when we lived there.
But most of Altadena is gone now because of the fires.
So the fires.
That's really sad.
Yep.
Oh man, that was January. January was wild. Like
that was
every
only
day-
in January.
Yep.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I know. Every day I'd wake up and go, what fresh hell am I waking up to? Who started a fire overnight? Oh my God.
I had both of your addresses pulled up onto a Google map so that I could see if you were okay. I was like,
I
where I'm assuming they're both going to be fine, but it's good.
Yeah. The closest I got to like an evacuation zone, like the end of the evacuation zone was like 2 miles from me. So I didn't have to
You know,
evacuate.
Alexa Dunn got evacuated.
I know. Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, my parents had to evacuate.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I had their address pulled up on the map like Mara did, where I kept checking it.
yeah.
And my work map. Because like the Palisades fire was really close to where I work. So then I kept looking at my parents' house in the Eaton fire and my work at the Palisades fire and
Those
being
are
like,
the bad
nobody
ones.
burned down. Nobody burned down.
Nobody.
Do we know why it's called Palisades? Because when I think Palisades, I think of like a castle with like.
I don't know. It's just on
Palisades
it's
is
on
spelled
the
with S.
it's like on the cliff over Malibu. So I guess that's why. I don't know.
Oh,
why
maybe
it's
it's
called
like a
that.
natural
But it's not
palisade.
palace like with a C. It's palace with an S.
Yeah.
Yeah, a palisade. That's like it's like a pointy stick wall that
Oh.
you use to defend your castle.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
well,
like up in the hills there. but
yeah,
But maybe
it's
that's
like-
why if it's like a natural.
Yeah, it's like up above Malibu.
Yeah. Okay, maybe it's
Like
a natural
vertically
formation.
up above.
I was
say.
just in my mind whenever they would say Pacific Palisades. In my mind, there was like in Pocahontas that kind of wall that they put up. It was that just burning. I'm like, I know that's not what
behind
it
that
actually
wall,
is.
all
But
the rich people's houses. are
Palisades kept spreading because we had like 90-mile-an-hour winds and like there was fire tornadoes. It was wild. Like when it crossed the hill over to where I was living, I was like, well, shit. Okay, I guess it's coming for me. Luckily, I live in a very like it would have to go a distance to get to me. There's a lot of houses. I don't live by like nature,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
And if the fire had made it to me, SoCal is gone. Like,
Yeah. I would have
Well, there
called
was a
you
minute
if I
there where
thought
I
you
was
were in
like, is
danger
SoCal
and
about
I'd be
to
like,
be
come
gone?
here.
Yeah.
I live further north than Leanna, so I'd be
Also,
like,
when I got
here.
an alert on my phone to like evacuate for the fire.
Oh my
and I was
god,
like,
yes.
no
At like
way.
4 in the
Like,
morning.
that cannot possibly be true. And I was correct. Then we got another alert blaring an hour later that to notify us that there was actually no emergency and that
Yeah.
was like, great.
4 a.m. 4 a.m. All of our phones were blaring emergencies. And we're like, what? And it was like, oops, sorry, mistake. Our bad.
I just realized I feel like we represent the different elements because you guys are fire and earth hazards for the most part. Bethany is water because you guys get hurricanes, and I'm wind.
Yeah,
The tornadoes.
We don't get a lot of hurricanes. I mean, we might get like we get like the intense rain tail end of hurricanes usually.
I mean, I've seen a lot in the last couple of years. I've seen a lot of videos of a lot of basement apartments floating away.
Oh,
yeah. No, it's true. I mean, you don't want to live in a basement apartment. We do get like
we don't have basements in California whatsoever, so it's just
it's very rare to have a basement in California. Just because earthquakes. So I mean, there are some that have basements, but usually it's not like livable space. It's like, oh, I have like a wine cellar.
I think we have the answer to the Palisades question.
There we go. Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
We learned something today.
Mm-hmm. Also, go look up the St. Francis Dam because it's very sad and interesting.
I know there was like, it's not about a dam, but like a town got drowned in maple syrup or something, or like molasses.
The Great Boston Molasses Flood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really know much about it aside from that there was a Great Boston Molasses Flood, but I think that's a very fun. It's sort of like how Australia has the Great Emu War. It's like, well, that sounds fun.
Emus kind of won. In a lot of ways.
I think 100% won the Great Emu
Emus won the war.
Yeah, they certainly did.
They had technology, but they still won.
Yeah.
So anyway, Red Rabbit, everybody, we all kind of liked it.
I think we can call this a success.
I think so.
It's rare we have one where we all like don't hate it at the very least. Because Leah, you don't hate it, you don't like it, you're just average about it.
As Westerns go.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, look at me picking a good one. I'm very proud of myself.
Good job. Yay. We actually, I don't think any of us hated the last one.
Picnic at Hanging Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't love it. I don't have a rage boner about it. I'm like, I'm the 3-star Leanna.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't love it either, but I thought it was interesting to talk about. Like, I think I had more fun in book club than I had reading the book.
Yeah. I'm glad I read it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah. So I feel like so far this year, good vibes.
So we're all gonna hate Mara.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Well, this is a very divisive book called "The Enigma of Room 622" by Joël Diquet, which is set in the Swiss Alps, and it's murdery. I don't know if I will ever hate this. I don't know if any of us will ever hate this, but it's allegedly a very it's a very divisive book.
Bethany, do you want to make the announcement?
I was gonna say,
yeah. So sadly, this is my last Blades of Bodice Rippers, at least for the foreseeable future. Yeah, which is sad, but the reason is exciting. I can't give too many details until next week, but I'm starting a full-time paid internship in publishing and book publicity. And I'm interviewing for some other longer term things. So yeah, it's very exciting, but it does mean that I have to be more careful about what I'm saying publicly about books because it'll be my job. So my new thing is kind of going to be, I'm going to talk about books I like, and I just won't talk about the ones that I don't.
Okay, question.
So actually, Bethany can still be in book club if she shows up. It's because she liked the book, and if she's just not there, then we all know why she's not there.
But we won't officially say that.
We'll just say we're feeling
the implication of it.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I think it gets tricky because I think this worked out nicely, but a lot of times we end up with something that is really pulling
divisive.
Divisive, and so I'm I don't know if that's professionally something I can do.
So officially speaking, it might be your last time. I would say might with an asterisk. Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future, if I see that everybody's Goodreads ratings were reasonably high.
They're higher. So Bethany, oh my gosh, Bethany might guest star. That's what I meant.
Right, yeah. But
Bethany might be
I
a
may
guest
hate
star.
I may hate my own choice. So if
We've
I don't
all
show up
been
for my
there.
own book club,
I'm
then
very
you'll know
happy
why.
with my choice. I
Yeah,
picked a
it's a good
one.
pick.
Yeah, no, I feel like this was for especially for this group, this was a rousing success because I feel like often half of us like it and the other half don't. So
I would say
Yeah,
overall,
and I
I
didn't
success.
really know what to expect either. So I think that was a success.
yeah. Well, we're excited for
Yay.
you, Bethany, but we will miss you. Hopefully you'll be able to pop back in.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's like an asterisk. Perhaps Bethany might be there.
Yeah. Because I mean I love doing it. But it's like one of those things where also I'm like, I
Get your money,
need like a
girl.
paycheck.
Get your money. Like I respect the hustle.
In this economy, if you get a paycheck,
Get your money. Like I get it. No, I'm still friends with you and I still love you.
Yes. Yes. And it was a
Don't
good
let
one to
them
go
buy
out
your
on.
silence.
I feel like it's just your silence will start speaking volumes.
I mean,
eventually.
honestly,
of like,
it's funny. I was telling
have you
my
read that?
patrons, They were
Yes.
like joking. They're like, "We'll know the code if you mark something red on Goodreads." Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
no rating.
But you know what? That's for everybody. It's not just our group. So realistically, we can just take advantage of the situation. Because
But yeah.
technically you didn't say anything bad about any other book. You're just talking about books you like.
Exactly.
And it's rare that we all like a book. So like every once in a while, Bethany might pop in.
Yeah. But on my channel,
July.
it will be actually, I think it has to be that first weekend in August, technically.
We'll figure it out. It's 3 months from now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because I think I'm going home that last weekend in July. But yeah, end of July-ish.
And we're all gonna dress for skiing.
Yes, this is set in the Alps.
You
So
do not
snowy
know how much
summer,
I've been thinking
everybody.
about how I'm gonna do that in July.
I
Christmas
in
in
Los
July.
Angeles.
See, I think because in Tennessee I have the air conditioning cranked up, it will not be a problem for me to
I
be
just
in
have
a sweater.
fan. I got
Yeah.
I'm a Jane Austen
Cute.
fan.
Oh,
Which I
that's
feel
cute.
it goes with the time period, but also it's just like I'm hot.
Yeah.
Because I was drinking. This
Yeah.
bottle was like I drank more than I probably should. But you know what? That happens every book
It's
club.
Saturday night. You
We have a
know?
good time. It's
Yeah.
you know what? The sun is out in California, never mind. But it's still the evening.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm like day drunk at 12 in the afternoon.
It's a Saturday. You do what you want
Which
to
on
do.
a Saturday is the thing people do. So.
Yeah.
True. But I still feel bad if I'm
You know
like
what it's called when
drunk.
people do that? It's called brunch.
That's true.
I will drink in the day, but I don't want to be drunk during the day.
Bottomless
That makes
mimosas.
sense.
Now that in my 30s, I agree. I don't like to be drunk in the day, but
I've
Yeah.
never liked drinking in the day. It's not like a morality thing. I just, when the sun is out, I do not want alcohol. So in the winter, I can start drinking at like 4 p.m. And in summer, I got to wait till like 9 o'clock.
the only time I've ever really done a serious bout of day drinking was once in college when I was studying abroad in England, and we got a gigantic thing of something. I think it was called Frosty Jacks, and it was like dirt cheap cider, and we all just drank it all day long, watching a cricket game, trying to figure out the rules. But I was like 20, so that I feel like my liver could stand for that.
I don't really understand how it's not baseball, it's cricket, but it's like baseball related.
Yeah,
Similar.
I feel like at one point we thought we understood it, but then the next day none of us remembered.
I'll tell you a secret. Even the people who play don't understand it.
There's a cricket league. There's a cricket league in Los Angeles.
Of course there
They
is.
play at the Balboa Dam Recreation Center, which I don't know, allegedly the Olympics are coming here soon enough.
Well,
And
there's a lot of construction going on in all of LA, so I think they think so too.
Yeah, well, I mean, by that I mean it's happening unless something wild happens.
Well, no one else wants it, so I think you're getting it.
I know, 2028, it's going to be bonkers. But Balboa Dam Recreation Center is nice because they have like an archery range already, and they have a cricket pitch Is that what they call it, a cricket pitch? But they have all the stuff already there because they built it for like the Olympics that was in the 80s that happened in LA.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I thought that a lot of that infrastructure, didn't they kind of let it rot?
Here's the thing. We spent like nothing on the 80s Olympics. We spent as little as possible and it turned out really well. Like we made a lot of money on it because we just like didn't invest in it. We're like, oh, we got to stand at USC. Let's just bring people there, whatever. And then now we're just kind of doing the same thing, but also trying a little bit. But it's like we're not spending the most money.
I think that is smart because I don't think that worked out very well for Paris.
No.
But like it was fancy.
Most cities like go bankrupt if they host the Olympics. LA is like too cool for that.
Like they tried to clean the Seine, which is like, honey, you're not cleaning it.
Yeah.
You're going to have those athletes swimming in a poop. Like this brings us round circle to the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to get back to poop rivers.
And poop.
Yeah. That is one of them.
In LA, that's not a problem because we don't have any rivers to clean.
Well, you do have the LA. You do have the LA River. It's just dry 95%.
It is a puddle at best.
Yeah. Yeah. Those people do like drag racing down there or like street racing.
Probably.
I don't know if they necessarily do it in the like the washes where like the river's supposed to be. They do it like the real street.
Yeah.
But they did film Terminator 2 over by my house. Like, you know, when they have the big like big rig and like the wash and like they're firing guns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was by my house. I was a very little baby when they were filming it.
Aww.
But I still remember they threw like a block party when they were done because it's the suburbs.
Yeah, like, hey, sorry for
like filming a James Cameron film in your neighborhood. We know it was a lot, and they threw a big like party for like the whole neighborhood. And like little baby me, I remember I went and I ate cake, but like I think I was like 2.
Oh.
So like it was a weird recollection I have in my brain of me standing on this particular street corner eating a piece of cake. And I know it was at that cast party.
Early formative memory, courtesy of James Cameron.
Because of cake.
Yeah, Cameron cake.
I remember the cake in my head. So,
cake.
You know,
Terminator 2 cake.
Terminator 2 cake.
All right.
Well, on that
anyway, we all like this one, and we'll be back on Mara's channel in July / maybe early August. With the Enigma in room 622.
God, that cover is so fire.
I know.
I really hope I like it.
Is it Joel?
Joel Dicker, which is spelled which in English is Joel Dicker.
Joel Dicker. But like that's the thing with French, like you don't pronounce most of the vowels and
it's like what's the name? John Boehner, and everyone's like, how are we getting Boehner out of that name?
A wing and a prayer.
Boehner. Bless his heart.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, you don't want to have Boner be your last name. You're going to try your best to like have people pronounce it different.
Yeah.
Or just lean in.
Just lean in. I mean, he did, obviously. Didn't that guy show his dick to people?
Who hasn't?
Me, because I don't have one. I mean, if you're just talking about people with dicks to show.
I'm talking about like politicians.
Oh.
Whomst among them.
Well, what's his face? Wiener definitely did.
Which
Wiener did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know.
It's on us for not seeing that coming.
Honestly, it was in the advertising. So
he was warning us all along.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, it's like, you know, we're at fault here as a public for thinking that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. We deserve that. You're right.
We should have assumed.
Yeah.
It
was written on the tin.
Anyway, everybody, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us tonight. I'm glad this is one of the rare occasions we all kind of liked a book.
A good note to go out on, I think. For Bethany.
For a complete group to go out on, we all at least liked it. Even if Leanna wasn't super into it, she didn't hate it.
Yeah.
You're our hardest critic, so if we please you, I feel like that's extra special.
I completely agree.
So thank you guys for coming, hanging out with us. We'll be back in August/early August in Mara's channel for Enigma Room 622. So on that note, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. Yes, Joe Mullins for the win. Joe Mullins is the best. And I will see you guys next time over on Mara's channel, Books Like Wow. All right, everybody, goodbye.